Kal halal wahawadla Yahweh Basham Yawashai Basham Kwakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that ruled well. Peace and salutations to the brothers on the four corners of this earth, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. I am by Manatazak, saying Shalom. Yeah. Well, on the article here, so I guess we go jump straight into it one time. It says WEF says CBDCs must be implanted under your skin if you want to participate in society. Right, WEF, those who don't know, WEF is an abbreviation for World Economic Forum. Yeah? Right, like go down in the article. It says the WEF, the World Economic Forum, has declared that all citizens must be implanted, right, with a CBDC microchip in the very near future, right? In the very near future, in order to be able to fully participate in society in this world, yeah, and do basic things such as purchase food and water, right? Now, this is Revelation 13 and 16, which we will get this now. Yeah, this is Revelation 13 and 16, but we've been preaching that. Understand? The men of GMS been teaching this years ago. I'm gonna get 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. It says, well, lest Satan should get an advantage of us as we, get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Yeah, we're not ignorant of the adversary devices. We've been teaching that this was the MOTB. Yeah, and look, they bring it to fruition, right? According to Professor Richard Werner, in the very near future, citizens will need. You understand? Here the words are using must, need, meaning what? It's a necessity. Must, meaning what? It's compulsory, not voluntary, to use the latest technology, such as a CBDC chip implant. Implant. You understand? This ain't no tattoo, it's an implant. This ain't sin, it's an implant. This ain't lying with a woman of another nation. This is implant in order to access their bank accounts. It's a Professor Richard A. Werner is an economist and professor of banking and finance. He is known as the proponent of a new post-crisis monetary policy he called the quantitative easing, QE, which he proposed in Japan in 1995. Yeah, right. In 1995, they've been preparing post-crisis monetary policies. Anyhow, we will continue, which he proposed in Japan in 1995 as chief economist of a British investment bank. He has also worked as a researcher at the University of Oxford, the Bank of Japan, the Development Bank of Japan, and the Asian Development Bank. He is involved in supporting the establishment of not-for-profit community bands through an initiative called the Local First CIC. Exposed News.com reports at the Amsterdam Scientists Summit 2022, Professor Werner gave a lecture on central bank digital currencies, and the 2030 agenda, 2030 agenda at the sidelines of this year's Amsterdam Science Summit. He spoke to Ivor Cummins about the CBDCs and how high inflation has been orchestrated by central banks to further their agenda. You understand? High inflation High inflation has been orchestrated or been, central banks was behind inflation, but if you're up to the times concerning money or currency or economy, which men are the truth, which men are GMS should be, they would already know that the central banks been doing this, right, to further what their agenda, the CBDC, right? There are two aspects of the QE monetary policies that Professor Werner proposed, QE1 and QE2. QE1 is for the central bank to step in and purchase non-performing assets in the banking system. The central bank buys up non-performing assets at face value, and the problem is solved. Banks have a strong balance sheet, but that won't be enough to get banks to increase credit. So Professor Warner proposed QE2, which allows the central bank to force the banks, which is the other smaller banks, to create more money and push it into the economy. This would be accomplished with central banks buying assets, example, property from the non-bank sectors. The money the non-bank sectors receive from the sale of the property would then be deposited into the seller's bank account. When an economy is experiencing deflation, that's how the central bank can push money into the economy directly. Professor Warner explained, right? So when the dollar have value, the Saudi bank does use it to their power and started to keep the economy afloat. Right? QE1 was followed by Japan in the 1980s, but the US also disallowed Japan subsequently using QE2. And then out of the blue, at the wrong time, QE2 was adopted by the US Federal Reserve. The US Federal Reserve and other central banks in March 2020. The intention of adopting QE2 at that time was to cause high inflation. Why? To move economies onto the CBDC. So yeah, now the reason I didn't talk about it before because I was waiting to get down to this part now. Remember earlier in the article it says what? The post crisis monetary policy, right? And this is for after a crisis, right? And without as the article says, out of the blue, America implemented at the wrong time. You understand? They implemented at the wrong time. You understand? They implemented 22, which was what before the crisis. So this is basically saying the crisis was our plan. Was our plan to implement this, but it just used it at the wrong time. You understand? The intention of adopting the QE2 at that time was to cause high inflation, and they knew people was going to lose their jobs. To what? Drive down the value of the dollar. So to what? Why? To move economies onto the CBDC. Wow, look at that. You have to think of CBDCs as a control system or permit system, not a currency. Professor Warner explained here, it's a control system, right? It's a control system, and I go read this little piece and then I go into some more scriptures. It is a conditional currency based on you actually getting that permit. Now, if you happen to be some kind of critic of government policy or critic of central banks, now remember they wanted that earlier they said they were speaking about passing a law against free thinkers, right? A free thinker is basically a critic, right? So if it's a critic of the bank or a critic of the government, this could be difficult. Or if you dare to step out of the 15-minute city zone, maybe you'll find out, oh, my CBDC is not working. Of course, these are things we've seen already in China. There's plenty videos where somebody tries to use it to buy a ticket and it doesn't work because his social credit scores are low. Yeah. And effectively, there is no real right to appeal, with very few people controlling the very many. The controllers who use computers and algorithms to run the system. If you appeal the blocking of CBDCs, you'll be dealing with automated responses, right? So basically, what they're saying, if socially, you understand, socially, if your credit socially is low, you understand, your CBDCs will not go be blocked. You will have access to it. Yeah. So that you taking a simple and what relinquishes your control. You understand? You would now be given the government, central banks, the government, full control over your life. Yeah. As I was reading 2 Corinthians, we are not ignorant of these devices. Right? We go to 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 1. It says, "But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety," when they go make everything sound good, "and sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that that day should overtake you as a thief." Yeah, we not in darkness, because we know the devices of Satan and what its purpose for. Yeah. Verse 5, "Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep, as do others, but let us watch and be sober." Yeah, we are the watchmen. Understand? We've been seeing this miles off. We've been seeing this afar off. And been warning the people. If you don't wake up now, you ain't go ever wake up. You will never get it. If you don't get it now, you will never get it. You understand? The MOTB is here. It is real. Yeah? This is it. You understand? If you don't see this as a sign of servitude, which it is, sign of servitude. You understand? Because, well, without this, you would not be able to buy. They have the control over your power to buy, your power to live. You understand? How many people you know own rice fields, or how many people you know own chicken farms or cow farms, or able to are self-sustainable is the word I'm looking for. How many people you know are self-sustainable? You know? 3/4 of the world's agricultural land is owned by who? You know what I mean? BG, the gatekeeper. You know what I'm saying? And look what he into, GMO. Things to cause you sick. You understand? This guy got the FDA to approve his lab-grown meat, even though it causes something called turbo cancer, which basically means what, it kills you faster. But that's another video for another time. You know? Might just hop on that tomorrow. You never know. Holy Spirit will lead. Yeah, but I'm going to get this here in Revelation 13. This is what we've been preaching since 2000 and early 2000s, you know? It says what? It says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of the beast." You understand? You're not able to buy, you're not able to sell, you're not able to live, basically. Understand? Because why? You're a servant unto them, you give yourself over to that servitude. Now, let me go down in the blue letter and get that word here now. Alright? Go down in the blue letter and get it. Revelation 13, 16. Right. What? Shut up, probably 18 wrong. My bad. Revelation 13 space, colon space 16. What the fuck? So like, just bear with me, yeah? Because I understand why I'm having so much issues with this keyboard right now. Alright, lovely. Alright, we get down into the woods here now. Free and born to receive a mark. Days what we're looking for. G5480. Yeah?
Strong's G5480. Kharagma. Strong's G5480. Kharagma.
Yeah, and this is our word that you hear coming out a lot now in these recent videos. Because why? Because this is it. This is the time of the mark. Yeah? It say what? From the same as 5482, a scratch or etching stamp as a badge of servitude. You understand? Graven mark. You understand? Graven. Etch, scratch meaning to what to cut. Etching. Etching means to what to imprint in something. You understand? As a badge of servitude, i.e. a stamp. You understand? That is stamp as a badge of servitude. That is what that mark is. That mark is, you understand, is a badge of servitude. You understand that why we have all these precepts saying, let me just get in Revelation 12:12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth he had but a short time here. Woe to us. The devil coming up. This is the hour of temptation upon us here. By the end draweth nigh. Jacob's trouble draweth nigh. You understand? He come down having great wrath, because the true men of the Lord will stand against it, and they will be martyrs, they will be jailed, they will be killed, so on and so forth. Understand? This is this hour of temptation I hear brothers speak about. Jacob trouble. Will you forbear, or will you give in to the mark? You know? Get this one in second Ezra 15 and 14. It's the same thing, you know. It's a woe to the world, and them that dwell therein here, destruction. Destruction. Because what? The devil is here, boy. The devil is here, and men, the real watchmen know that. The real watchmen been watching and been prophesying, been sighing and crying. We've been in the watchtower. You understand? 2 Timothy 3 and 1, he say, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. These are these perilous times that are upon us here. Understand? Just to show you that, hey, these people planned from the beginning. This is what the plan was from the beginning. You know? And if you was hacking into the watchman, you'd have known it. You understand? If your eyes was in your head, you would have known it. You know? You would have known it. You understand? Because it's obvious. You understand? As they say, well, the CBDC is what? A device to control. You understand? And a lot of people are going to take it. Yeah? This is Isaiah 60 and 2. It says, well, for behold, darkness shall cover the whole earth, and gross darkness the people. You understand? But the Lord, the Most High shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be upon thee. Yeah. But what he say too, you see also say gross darkness shall cover the people. Understand? The one the Lord shall rise upon is who? Is the elect. Rise upon us with what? With his knowledge, with his wisdom, with the fear of the Lord instilled in us. You understand? That is how he go rise upon us. And that is how his glory shall be seen upon us. True, because we are the wisdom. You understand? Just now it's famine of the word. You know? So if you was asleep, you understand? You're going to end up remaining asleep. You'll end up stubble for the fire. You know? I hope this impromptu video was edifying. You understand? I hope it wake up we need to wake up. You understand? But I will say double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS that rule well. Peace and salutations to the brothers on the four corners of this earth that push this word in truth and in sincerity. This is Brother Manat Isaac saying shalom.